on EduTap. Welcome to the CT360 series session in which we cover the most important GA and ESI current affairs from the exam point of view, and today I'm going to discuss the most important news articles from 23rd to 24th of October 2024. So guys, if I'm audible and visible to all of you are requested to give me a thumbs up in the chat box so that we can resume the today's session. So guys, let me tell you that this session is going to be really very fruitful for all the people who are preparing for RBI, NABARD and EduTap exam, and specifically EduTap aspirants whose prelims exam is just on the trot, so they have to make sure that yes, they are covering these news articles from the exam point of view, right? So let me tell you that today we will be covering the most important news articles from 23rd to 24th of October 2024. अगर आप मुझे सुन पा रहे हैं, देख पा रहे हैं, तो please give me a thumbs up in the chat box so that we can resume the today's session. Let me tell you, in this session we will be covering all the most important G and ESI current affairs from the exam point of view, right? So before starting the session, guys, if you are still new to our YouTube channel, kindly subscribe to it and press the bell icon to receive all the latest updates of the courses and videos offered by us. And you can also join our Telegram channel to get the access to the PDF of these sessions. And let me tell you that you can join the Telegram channel by clicking on the link given in the description of this particular session. तो लिंक आपके डिस्क्रिप्शन में दिया गया है, आप टेलीग्राम चैनल से हमारे PDF डाउनलोड कर सकते हैं, ठीक है? So now coming to the agenda of the today's session, the topics that we are going to discuss in the today's session, which includes World Economic Outlook, 8 years of Udan scheme, BRICS 16 summit, and some other important topics which are only relevant for phase 1. So the top 3 topics are basically relevant for both phase 1 and phase 2 of the exam, as the World Economic Outlook is a very important report, and then there is a scheme followed by a major regional bloc summit which has taken place recently. Okay, so let's start the session with the very first part, that is the topics which are relevant for both phase 1 and phase 2. And the very first topic that we are going to cover here is, as you can see on the screen, that International Monetary Fund has maintained India's growth projections at 7% for the fiscal year 25. So my dear friends, let me tell you that during the annual meeting of the International Monetary Fund, it has come up with the World Economic Outlook, which has been titled as the Policy Pivot Rising Threats. And this is basically the October 2024 edition of this particular report. And what is the name of body which releases the report? So whenever we are covering any report, we have to make sure we are covering the releasing body of the report. And this report has been released by the International Monetary Fund. So International Monetary Fund releases the World Economic Outlook, and this time it has been titled as the Policy Pivot Rising Threats. So make sure that you are covering this report if you are appearing in any of the government exam which are on the trot in the upcoming months, right? So guys, when we talk about this report, as the name suggests, that this particular report provides us the economic outlook of the major regions of the global region, of the major regions and the major countries as well. Let me tell you that this particular outlook database is created during the biannual World Economic Outlook exercise, जो कि शुरू होती है जनवरी में और जून के अंदर, ठीक है? And as a result, it brings up the results in April and September 2024 and October. So let me tell you that this edition that has been launched by the IMF in its annual meeting, which was held in the Washington DC. So basically, this is the October 2024 edition which has been recently released by the International Monetary Fund. So I hope that this is clear to all of you, right? So now guys, when we talk about this particular part, as we all know that this particular report provides us the projected growth rate at the global level and the regional as well as the country level as well. So this report mentions that the global growth is expected to remain stable yet underwhelming. So what exactly will be the global growth rate? So now let's cover the important data that we need to remember from this report. That is, when we talk about the global growth rate, it was mentioned that it was 3.3% in year 2023 and it will grow at 3.2% in both 2024 and remain resilient at 3.2% in 2025 as well. So make sure कि आप याद रखें GDP growth forecast of the world, that is going to be 3.2% for both 2024 and 2025. ठीक है? और जब हम बात करते हैं एडवांस इकोनॉमीज की, it will be 1.7% for 2023, increasing by 0.1 point to 1.8% in 2024 and 1.8% in 2025. When we talk about emerging market and developing economies, they are going to grow at 4.4% in 2023, 4.2% in 2024 and 4.2% in 2025. तो आप देख सकते हैं कि वर्ल्ड आउटपुट अगर हम देखें तो it is 3.2% for both 2024 and 2025. But now let's come to the most important point here, that is the India related GDP growth forecast, which we are required to cover from the exam point of view, because that is the most important thing that we need to cover from here. So when I talk about the India's GDP growth forecast, before moving on to that, we are also required to cover another important aspect, that is the global growth rate. What exactly is the projected global growth rate in the next 5 years? So as per this report, it is the world is projected to grow at 3.1% over the next 5 years. तो हमने देखा कि 2024-25 में it is going to grow at 3.2%. But the multilateral lender has basically mentioned that in its World Economic Outlook that the global growth is projected at 3.1% over the next 5 years, and this is once again a short of the pre-pandemic level. That means the growth rate of the global level which was there before the COVID-19 pandemic, still we are not able to achieve that particular numbers, and this is basically due to the structural challenges which are going on across the world, which includes aging populations and the low productivity level across the world. So this is something that we need to cover from the exam point of view. Now let's move on to the very important part, that is the India related GDP growth forecast. And India has been mentioned that India has basically India's growth rate was 8.2% in 2023, and India is going to grow at 7% in 2024 and 6.5% in 2025. So this 7% in 2024 is basically the year which will be financial year which will be ending on 31st March 2025, right? And this 2025 year will be ending on 31st March 2026. ठीक है, तो इंडिया की जीडीपी ग्रोथ फोरकास्ट क्या है? 7% है 2024 के लिए एंड 6.5% है 2025 के लिए. आई होप दैट ऑल ऑफ यू आर रियली वेरी मच क्लियर विद ऑल दीज इंपॉर्टेंट डिटेल्स. सो दिस इज द IMF report, that is the World Economic Outlook, which has been recently released. The October edition has been released, where it has mentioned about the world output and the India output and the other regional output as well, and the global growth which is projected at 3.1% over the next 5 years is also required to be covered from exam point of view. So that's all from this particular news article. Let's move on to the next important part, and we have seen that Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji has commemorated the 8th anniversary of Udan scheme. And what exactly Udan stands for? Udan basically stands for Ude Desh Ka Aam Nagrik, and it is a regional connectivity scheme which was being launched in year 2016 by the government of India. And the major aim of this particular scheme was to revolutionize the India's aviation sector by making the flights accessible, affordable, and that's why we have really a great ambition of revolutionizing our aviation sector. ठीक है, तो इस particular scheme के 8 years पूरे हुए हैं, so that is a milestone which this particular scheme has achieved, and that is the reason we have to make sure we are covering the important details of this Udan scheme. ठीक है, so I won't be completing the complete scheme here, but yes, the major key important details I will be discussing here in this particular session. So when we talk about this scheme, guys, as it is the 2024 going on 8th anniversary complete हुई है, that means the scheme was launched in 2016. और ये सिविल इंडिया के एविएशन सेक्टर को रेवोल्यूशनाइज करने के लिए बनी. तो बेसिकली विच मिनिस्ट्री इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर द एविएशन सेक्टर इन आवर कंट्री? दैट इज द मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ सिविल एविएशन. तो मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ सिविल एविएशन यहाँ पर इस पर्टिकुलर स्कीम को लॉन्च करता है 2016 के अंदर, और implementation इसकी it will be taken by the Airport Authority of India. So Airport Authority of India is implementing the scheme. The nodal ministry is Ministry of Civil Aviation, and it was launched in 2016. And again, it was launched to make air travel affordable for the general public and to develop regional aviation market in our country, and that is the reason that this particular scheme was being launched. Now when I talk about the key targets of this scheme, so it targets to operationalize 1000 उड़ान routes during the scheme's tenure. तो इस scheme का जो total tenure है उस दौरान it is targeting 1000 उड़ान routes. तो याद रखिए a very important number, 1000 उड़ान routes. And it will also working on reviving and developing 100 unserved and underserved airports. तो 100 unserved and underserved airports, heliports, water aerodromes को 2024 तक यहाँ develop किया जाएगा और revive किया जाएगा under the revival of unserved and underserved airport scheme. 50 new airports, helipads, aerodromes will be built as announced in the budget 23-24. तो budget 23-24 के अंदर government of India has announced that they will be targeting to build 50 new airports, helipads and aerodromes across the country. And guys, It also targets to provide tickets at affordable rate to 1 crore people annually, and that is one of the major important target of the scheme, that is to revolutionize the Indian aviation sector by making it affordable, accessible, and that is something that is the key aim of coming up with the उड़ान स्कीम, दैट इज उड़े देश का आम नागरिक. सो आप सभी को सारी डिटेल्स जो हमने कवर की हैं उड़ान स्कीम से, आई होप कि आपको एकदम क्लियर होंगी. अगर क्लियर है तो मुझे एक थम्स अप दीजिए चैट बॉक्स के अंदर कि हाँ हमें क्लियर है, एंड वी कैन मूव ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. ठीक है, तो वी आर हैविंग सम मोर इंपॉर्टेंट न्यूज आर्टिकल्स टुडे फॉर यू. सो अभी तक हमने दो इंपॉर्टेंट न्यूज आर्टिकल्स को कवर किया. फर्स्ट वन इज बेसिकली वर्ल्ड इकोनॉमिक आउटलुक. द सेकंड टॉपिक वाज द उड़ान स्कीम जिसने अपने 8 इयर्स को कंप्लीट किया है रिसेंटली. और अब हम बढ़ते हैं तीसरे इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक की तरफ, दैट इज द 16th ब्रिक्स समिट. तो 16th ब्रिक्स समिट हैज बीन रिसेंटली हेल्ड एंड प्राइम मिनिस्टर नरेंद्र मोदी जी हैज पार्टिसिपेटेड इन द समिट व्हिच वाज हेल्ड इन कजान अंडर द चेयरशिप ऑफ रशिया. तो रशिया की चेयरमैनशिप के अंदर कजान के अंदर 16th ब्रिक्स समिट को यहां पर किया गया. एंड दिस पर्टिकुलर समिट वाज हेल्ड अंडर द थीम स्ट्रेंथनिंग मल्टीलैटरलिज्म फॉर जस्ट ग्लोबल डेवलपमेंट एंड सिक्योरिटी. तो ग्लोबल डेवलपमेंट और सिक्योरिटी के लिए मल्टीलैटरलिज्म को स्ट्रेंथन करना बहुत जरूरी है, एंड दैट वाज द फोकस एरिया एंड द थीम ऑफ दिस 16th ब्रिक्स समिट. सो गाइज व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट द ब्रिक्स, तो ब्रिक्स को हम आगे आने वाली स्लाइड्स के अंदर एक डिटेल मैनर में कवर करने वाले हैं. ठीक है, तो अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट लेट मी टेल यू दैट एट द कंक्लूजन ऑफ द समिट दे हैव अडॉप्टेड द कजान डिक्लेरेशन. तो ये जो हमारे लीडर्स हैं ऑफ ऑल दीज कंट्रीज विच आर द members of the BRICS summit, so basically they have adopted the Kazan declaration. And let me tell you, as right now it is the Russia which is having the chairmanship of Kazan, the chairmanship of BRICS. तो BRICS की जो chairmanship है it is with the Russia right now, and the next year in 2025 this chairmanship will transfer to Brazil. जैसे कि गाइस हमने G20 को कवर किया था लास्ट ईयर बहुत ही ज्यादा इन डेप्थ में, तो लेट मी टेल यू दैट जैसे G20 के एक शेरपा हैं वैसे ही ब्रिक्स के भी शेरपा हैं. एंड हु इज इंडियाज ब्रिक्स शेरपा? इट इज दमू रवि. सो दिस इज द नेम ऑफ द पर्सन हु इज द शेरपा ऑफ इंडिया इन द ब्रिक्स. राइट नाउ लेट अस कवर सम इंपॉर्टेंट की डिटेल्स अबाउट द ब्रिक्स. अगर हम ब्रिक्स की बात करते हैं तो एक इनफॉर्मल ग्रुप है स्टेट्स का विच कंप्राइजेस ऑफ द मेजर 5 कंट्रीज विच इंक्लूड्स B for Brazil, R for Russia, I for India, C for China, and S for South Africa. So these are the 5 countries which are the part of this block, that is the BRICS, which includes Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Right? So this is what we call the BRICS. I hope that this part is very much clear to all of you. Now let's move on to some other important details कि कैसे BRICS का initiation हुआ. Let me tell you that July 2006 के अंदर when there was a G8 outreach summit, during that particular time the leaders of the BRIC countries which includes Brazil, Russia, India and China, तो उस particular meet के साथ साथ इन्होंने एक और मीट की इन सभी लीडर्स ने, एंड दैट पर्टिकुलर मीट वाज हेल्ड इन पीटर्सबर्ग, रशिया. And after that in September 2006 the group was formalized as the BRIC. और पहली जो BRIC summit थी it was held in Yekaterinburg in Russia on 16 June 2009. तो 2006 के अंदर BRIC को बनाया गया. 2009 के अंदर पहली समिट हुई और 2010 के अंदर साउथ अफ्रीका को एज अ फुल मेंबर it was been accepted as a full member, and that is when it was basically been known as the full member of the BRICS. ठीक है, so I hope this particular point is clear to all of you guys. So when we talk about this particular BRICS summit, so this BRICS leaders during the summit had productive discussions including strengthening multilateralism, countering terrorism, fostering economic growth, and pursuing sustainable development as well. And when we talk about BRICS guys, it is really a very important group which brings together the major emerging economies from the world. And let me tell you that these BRICS countries which includes Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa, they include basically these are all the influential members of the leading international organizations. For example, United Nations, we have G20, we have non-aligned movement, we have G77. So basically इन सभी major international organizations और blocks और groupings का part है BRICS countries, and that is the reason that why these BRICS countries are really having a very major influence across the world. So I hope कि ये particular summit और BRICS के बारे में सारी details यहाँ पर हमने cover कर ली हैं. अब बढ़ते हैं अपने अगले important news की तरफ, that is the कर्मयोगी सप्ताह, that is the National Learning Week. तो कर्मयोगी सप्ताह को recently लॉन्च किया था प्राइम मिनिस्टर नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने, and during this particular part he has also come up with the National Learning Week. और कब लॉन्च किया गया था इसे? It was launched on 19th of October 2024, which was basically focusing on the capacity development of the civil servants. So guys, हम सभी जानते हैं मिशन कर्मयोगी इनिशिएटिव को लॉन्च किया था गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने फॉर द कैपेसिटी डेवलपमेंट ऑफ द सिविल सर्वेंट्स. जो हमारे सिविल सर्वेंट्स हैं उनकी कैपेसिटी डेवलपमेंट हो सके, उनका स्किल डेवलपमेंट हो सके, ठीक है. सो दैट्स व्हाई मिशन कर्मयोगी इनिशिएटिव वाज बीन लॉन्च्ड, एंड ड्यूरिंग दिस पर्टिकुलर वीक ऑफ द नेशनल लर्निंग वीक दिस कर्मयोगीज will be committed to achieving a target of at least 4 hours of competency linked learning. तो 4 घंटे डेली बेसिस पर they will be going through some seminars and learning some new skills, and that will basically lead to the capacity development of the civil servants. और जब हम बात करते हैं मिशन कर्मयोगी की, तो लेट मी टेल यू कि इसको लॉन्च किया था सितंबर 2020 के अंदर इन ऑर्डर टू प्रमोट सिटीजन सेंट्रिक गवर्नेंस. और सिटीजन सेंट्रिक गवर्नेंस कैसे किया जा सकता है? Basically through competency development, through capacity development of the civil servants which are responsible for bringing this change in our society. And that is why it also acts as a human resource management program which is designed for the civil servants in our country. So mission कर्मयोगी के अंदर सिविल सर्वेंट्स की कैपेसिटी डेवलपमेंट की बात की जाती है. सितंबर 2020 में इसको लॉन्च किया गया था. कर्मयोगी सप्ताह को रिसेंटली लॉन्च किया है प्राइम मिनिस्टर नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने, ठीक है. आई होप दिस डिटेल्स आर क्लियर टू ऑल ऑफ यू. नाउ लेट्स मूव ऑन टू द टॉपिक्स व्हिच आर रेलेवेंट फॉर ओनली फेज 1 ऑफ दिस पर्टिकुलर एग्जाम. एंड here is the very first news article where we have seen that Steel Authority of India Limited has been awarded with the SHRM HR Excellence Awards. और इसको अवार्ड मिला है 2 कैटेगरीज के अंदर, that is Excellence in Inclusion, Equity and Diversity and Excellence in Managing the Distributed Workforce. तो इन 2 कैटेगरीज के अंदर Steel Authority of India Limited को अवार्ड दिया गया है. And let me tell you that it really shows, the award basically shows a testimony to the pioneering HR practices which are being launched by the Steel Authority of India Limited, and that shows its commitment towards its HR. ठीक है. I hope this is clear to all of you. Let's move on to the next important topic, that is the Swavlamban 2024, and this year we are celebrating the 3rd edition of this Indian Navy's National Innovation Indigenization Organization Seminar. तो NIIO का एक सेमिनार होता है जिसको हम कहते हैं स्वावलंबन, एंड दिस ईयर इट विल बी टेकिंग प्लेस इन न्यू दिल्ली, एंड दिस विल बी द 3rd एडिशन ऑफ दिस पर्टिकुलर सेमिनार, एंड दिस विल बी हेल्ड विद द थीम ऑफ स्ट्रेंथ एंड पावर थ्रू इनोवेशन एंड इंडिजिनाइजेशन. ठीक है. एज यू कैन सी दैट दिस थीम इज बेसिकली रिवॉल्विंग अराउंड स्ट्रेंथ एंड पावर थ्रू इनोवेशन और इंडिजिनाइजेशन की बात करती है. सो इट रिफ्लेक्ट्स द नेवीज कमिटमेंट to encourage innovation as a means to find cutting edge solutions to the challenges that we basically see in the modern warfare. ठीक है. तो मॉडर्न वॉरफेयर में जो भी हमारे मॉडर्न चैलेंजेस हैं उनको यहाँ मिटिगेट करने के लिए, उनको रिजॉल्व करने के लिए वी कम अप विद सच काइंड ऑफ थीम, एंड दिस ईयर एडिशन विल आल्सो फीचर द रिलीज ऑफ स्वावलंबन 3.0 डॉक्यूमेंट. सो इस डॉक्यूमेंट को भी रिलीज किया जाएगा as a part of this particular program. So we are done with this particular news article. अब बढ़ते हैं अपने next news article की तरफ. So guys, right now we all see that even across the whole country we have seen that so many frauds are taking place, so many scams are taking place. We just see that there are some calls which we are receiving on our phones, right? And they are basically the calls from the frauds, and we basically see such kind of spoofed calls. ये spoofed calls क्या होती हैं? Basically it appears that it has basically been came from a Indian number जो start होता है +91 से, right? आप सभी को इसकी जानकारी होगी that Indian numbers कोड है +91. तो +91 से ये नंबर स्टार्ट होता है, but let me tell you that these are spoofed calls. क्यों? क्योंकि these are basically some international calls which are being made, and there is some kind of alteration which has been done to the calling line identity, and that is why in order to protect the citizens of the nation, the Department of Telecommunication along with the telecom services, to protect citizens from cyber frauds, they have come up with a system which we call International Incoming Spoofed Calls Prevention System. तो international calls हैं ये, but they are spoofed like they are from the Indian numbers. कि कोई इंडियन हमें कॉल कर रहा है, it appears to be like that, but Yes, they are not Indian calls, they are the international calls. और इसीलिए इन इंटरनेशनल इनकमिंग स्पूफ्ड कॉल्स को प्रिवेंट करने के लिए, को ब्लॉक करने के लिए, दिस पर्टिकुलर सिस्टम हैज बीन लॉन्च्ड बाय डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ communication along with the telecom services providers. ठीक है, and this system is going to identify and block the incoming international calls which poses as Indian phone numbers. जो Indian phone numbers की तरफ पोज करते हैं, ऐसे international calls को ये identify करेगा और block करेगा. And once again, this basically shows the Department of Telecoms excellence as well as its milestone towards building a safe and digital space in our country. ठीक है, and these calls which appears to be originating within India but are actually being made from abroad. और कैसे करते हैं? By manipulating the calling line identity, as I have already told you अर्लियर इन दिस पर्टिकुलर सेशन. ठीक है, तो ये सिस्टम लॉन्च किया है, किसने लॉन्च किया है, ये हमें कवर करना बहुत ही ज्यादा जरूरी है फ्रॉम द एग्जाम पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू. आई होप कि ये सिस्टम आपको एकदम क्लियर है. बढ़ते हैं हम अपने लिए इंपॉर्टेंट न्यूज आर्टिकल की तरफ, वेयर BSNL's न्यू लोगो हैज बीन लॉन्च्ड एंड अलॉन्ग विद द न्यू लोगो 7 कस्टमर सेंट्रिक सर्विसेज हैज बीन लॉन्च्ड. तो BSNL क्या है? BSNL है भारत संचार निगम लिमिटेड, और उसका नया लोगो अनवील किया गया है रिसेंटली अलॉन्ग विद द 7 पायनियरिंग इनिशिएटिव्स. ठीक है, so basically this is the initiative which has been launched, and the BSNL's new logo basically symbolizes strength, trust and accessibility. As you can even see, basically the 3 key important words which are inculcated in the logo of the BSNL, which include securely, affordably and reliably. So this is the new logo of the BSNL, and let me tell you कि यहाँ पर बस एक tagline आप याद रख सकते हैं, it is the connecting Bharat, that is the tagline of this particular logo. ठीक है, I hope this is clear to all of you. So only this part is relevant to be covered. Now let's move on to the next important news article which is related to the International Film Festival of India. तो इंटरनेशनल फिल्म फेस्टिवल ऑफ इंडिया का 55th एडिशन यहाँ कंडक्ट किया जाएगा गोवा के अंदर. एंड दिस ईयर गाइस, व्हाट इज द नेम ऑफ कंट्री विच इज द फोकस कंट्री? तो हर साल हम देखते हैं कोई ना कोई फोकस कंट्री होती है, और इस साल द फोकस कंट्री इज बेसिकली ऑस्ट्रेलिया. एंड by nominating Australia as a focus country, we are celebrating the contribution which has been made by the Australian cinema to the global film industry. और जब हम बात करते हैं इंटरनेशनल फिल्म फेस्टिवल ऑफ इंडिया की, सो गाइस जब भी ऐसा कोई मेजर फेस्टिवल है तो उसका कुछ बैकग्राउंड डिटेल्स हमें कवर करना काफी जरूरी है. एंड लेट मी टेल यू दैट दिस फेस्टिवल वाज founded in 1952, and it is one of the Asia's most significant film festivals, and this festival held annually in Goa. तो हर साल इस फेस्टिवल को गोवा के अंदर ही यहाँ कंडक्ट किया जाता है. I hope this point is clear. Now let's move on to the next important article, that is Ayurveda Day 2024. Let me tell you that Ministry of Ayush has declared that it is going to celebrate the 9th Ayurveda Day on 29th of October, and this year the theme for this particular day will be Ayurveda Innovations for Global Health. So Ayurveda Innovation for Global Health will be the theme for this particular year 2024. And let me tell you that the celebration of this Ayurveda Day, ये हम हर साल सेलिब्रेट करते हैं ऑन द ओकेजन ऑफ धनतेरस, जिसको हम धनवंतरी जयंती भी कहते हैं. ठीक है, तो यहां पर आप सभी को काफी क्लियर होगा अबाउट द आयुर्वेद डे, राइट? सो आई बिलीव कि ऑल ऑफ यू आर वेरी मच क्लियर विद द आयुर्वेद डे, राइट? On which date we celebrate Ayurveda Day? It is the 29th October on which we celebrate the Ayurveda Day, and this year basically the theme is Ayurveda Innovations for Global Health. Now guys, let's move on to the next important day, that is the United Nations Day, which we celebrate every year on 24th October, and it is the 24th October when the United Nations Charter was been adopted in 1945, and United Nations was set up on 24th October in 1945. तो ये काफी इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट है. और जब हम बात करते हैं कुछ एडिशनल बैकग्राउंड डिटेल्स ऑफ यूनाइटेड नेशंस, तो मैं कुछ इंटरेस्टिंग फैक्ट्स आपके लिए आज लेकर आया हूं अबाउट द यूनाइटेड नेशंस. अगर हम बात करते हैं कि यूनाइटेड नेशंस जो टर्म है, इस टर्म का सजेशन किसने दिया गया था, तो ऑफिशियली एज पर द यूनाइटेड नेशन दिस सजेशन वाज बीन गिवन by the US President Franklin D. Roosevelt during the Second World War. तो सेकेंड वर्ल्ड वॉर के टाइम पर US प्रेसिडेंट फ्रैंकलिन डी रूजवेल्ट ने ये सजेशन दिया था दैट वी कैन बेसिकली टर्म दिस पर्टिकुलर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन एज यूनाइटेड नेशंस. और इस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की 6 ऑफिशियल लैंग्वेजेस हैं विच इंक्लूड्स अरेबिक, चाइनीज, इंग्लिश, फ्रेंच, रशियन एंड स्पेनिश. एंड व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट द लेटेस्ट मेंबर ऑफ द यूनाइटेड नेशंस, दैट इज द 193rd मेंबर, इट वाज साउथ सुडान विच बिकेम द मेंबर ऑफ द यूनाइटेड नेशन इन ईयर 2011. और गाइस जब हम बात करते हैं पहले सेक्रेटरी जनरल की यूनाइटेड नेशन से, तो पहले सेक्रेटरी जनरल जो थे दैट वाज Trigiv Lee from Norway. और आपके सामने एक होमवर्क है, and I am giving you the homework. You have to tell me that who is the present Secretary General of United Nations. At present, who is presently serving as the Secretary General of United Nations, आप मुझे बताएंगे चैट बॉक्स के अंदर. और अब हम बढ़ते हैं अपने नेक्स्ट इंपॉर्टेंट डे की तरफ, दैट इज द वर्ल्ड डेवलपमेंट इंफॉर्मेशन डे, विच वी अगेन celebrate every year on 24th of October. Now the next important part is the week, that is the Global Media Information Literacy Week, and this year we are celebrating this week with the theme of New Digital Frontiers of Information, मीडिया एंड इंफॉर्मेशन लिटरेसी फॉर पब्लिक इंटरेस्ट इंफॉर्मेशन. सो ये थीम है ग्लोबल मीडिया एंड इंफॉर्मेशन लिटरेसी वीक की, जिसको हम हर साल सेलिब्रेट करते हैं 24 to 31st of October को. Apart from that, when we talk about the disarmament week, this is also been celebrated across the same duration, that is 24 to 30th October. And disarmament week basically promotes awareness and understanding of the disarmament issues. तो जो भी disarmament issues हैं across the world, उनको ये प्रमोट करता है, उनके बारे में अंडरस्टैंडिंग प्रोवाइड करता है और उनकी इंपॉर्टेंस को दर्शाता है थ्रू द डिसआर्मामेंट वीक 24 to 30th October. So this is the duration that we need to remember. The theme is required to be remembered from the exam point of view. And with this, we are done with all the important news articles from the today's part. And now guys, let me tell you that once again, it is not at all sufficient for all of you to just cover these news articles, क्योंकि हमें इनकी प्रैक्टिस करना भी काफी ज्यादा जरूरी है. और इसीलिए मैं आपके सामने कुछ क्वेश्चंस लेकर आया हूं और आप सभी के लिए मैंडेटरी है कि आप इन क्वेश्चंस का आंसर दें चैट बॉक्स के अंदर. तो पहला क्वेश्चन है आप सभी के सामने वर्ल्ड इकोनॉमिक आउटलुक से, जिसको रिसेंटली रिलीज किया गया, एंड आपको आइडेंटिफाई करनी है कि विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट्स आर करेक्ट अबाउट दिस पर्टिकुलर रिपोर्ट. सो वंस अगेन you have to go through the keywords of this report and identify the right answer. तो वर्ल्ड इकोनॉमिक आउटलुक डेटाबेस क्रिएट किया जाता है ड्यूरिंग द बायएनुअल वर्ल्ड इकोनॉमिक आउटलुक एक्सरसाइज विच बिगिंस इन जनवरी एंड जून ऑफ ईच ईयर, और इसका रिजल्ट आता है अप्रैल और सितंबर और अक्टूबर एडिशन के अंदर. व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट द रिपोर्ट, तो इस रिपोर्ट ने हमें बताया कि द वर्ल्ड विल ग्रो एट 3.2% इन 24-25, एब्सोल्युटली राइट, और 3.1% रहेगी जीडीपी ग्रोथ फोरकास्ट ओवर द नेक्स्ट 5 years. सो गाइज, डू यू गाइज रियली agree with these two statements that we have covered till now? Quickly tell me in the chat box by mentioning true or false, yes or no, right? Now when we talk about the third statement, that is India is expected to grow at 7% in 24 and 6.5% in 25. So do you guys able to remember that what was India's GDP growth forecast for 2024 and 2025? So yes, it was 7% in 24 and 6.5% in 2025. So what will be the right answer here? Quickly tell me in the chat box what will be the right answer to this question, where we are required to identify correct statement. It is option D, that is 1, 2 and 3. So 1, 2 and 3 is the right answer, absolutely right. And now let's move on to the next question here. The next question is about the 8th anniversary of Udan, and the scheme has revolutionized India's aviation sector. The scheme was launched in 2016 under which ministry and is implemented by which organization? तो यहाँ पे हमें दो चीजें बतानी है. सबसे पहली चीज कि कौन सी मिनिस्ट्री है, और सेकेंड इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग है कि कौन सी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन उसे इंप्लीमेंट करती है. सो द मिनिस्ट्री विच is the nodal ministry for Udan scheme, it is the Ministry of Civil Aviation, and the organization which implements this scheme is the Airport Authority of India. So that's why option A is the right answer. So guys, are you guys able to answer these questions in the chat box? Please quickly tell me. क्या आप सभी को अंडरस्टैंडिंग मिल रही है न्यूज आर्टिकल्स की दैट वी आर कवरिंग इन द टुडे सेशन? सो डेफिनेटली दीज आर द काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चन दैट वी सी इन द एग्जाम. अब बढ़ते हैं अपने अगले क्वेश्चन की तरफ. द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज फ्रॉम इंटरनेशनल फिल्म फेस्टिवल ऑफ इंडिया, जिसको हम नवंबर 2024 के अंदर कंडक्ट करने वाले हैं. आपको बताना है कि कौन सा स्टेटमेंट यहाँ इनकरेक्ट है अबाउट दिस फेस्टिवल. तो पहला स्टेटमेंट है इट इज हेल्ड इन गोवा एंड दिस इज द 55th एडिशन. सेकेंड स्टेटमेंट ऑस्ट्रेलिया इज द कंट्री ऑफ फोकस. Third statement that it was founded in 1969 and the International Film Festival of India is Asia's most significant film festival. तो आपको मुझे बताना है कि कौन सा स्टेटमेंट यहाँ पर incorrect है with respect to the International Film Festival of India. So quickly tell me in the chat box guys. So Happy has given the right answer to the previous question as well. So what is the right answer here? कौन सा स्टेटमेंट यहाँ इनकरेक्ट है ये हमें आइडेंटिफाई करना है. तो हमने देखा एज पर द डिस्कशन 55th एडिशन ऑफ द फिल्म फेस्टिवल विल बी टेकिंग प्लेस इन गोवा, और हर साल इसे गोवा में हम कंडक्ट करते हैं. ऑस्ट्रेलिया हमारा कंट्री ऑफ फोकस है. बट जब हम बात करते हैं इस पर्टिकुलर फेस्टिवल की, इट वाज नॉट फाउंडेड इन 1969, इट वाज फाउंडेड इन 1952, एंड दैट इज व्हाई The third statement is the incorrect. Right answer will be option B, that is 3 only. That is the right answer. So now guys, it's a time for the homework question for all of you, and this is the homework question. और ये क्वेश्चन है ब्रिक्स 16 समिट के ऊपर, आपको गो थ्रू करना है इन स्टेटमेंट्स को और मुझे बताना है दैट व्हाट एग्जैक्टली इज द राइट आंसर टू दिस क्वेश्चन. तो इस सेशन के बाद इस पर्टिकुलर स्लाइड पर आप दोबारा आइएगा, एंड यू all of you are requested to answer me the question in the comment section of this particular session. ठीक है, और जो भी बच्चा इस क्वेश्चन का सही आंसर करेगा, I will be taking their name as the star performer of our today's session. और similarly अगर हम बात करते हैं star performer of the previous session, तो उसके लिए I have to unveil the right answer to the homework question of the previous session, which was on the Nobel Prize 2024. हमें identify करना था incorrect statement को. So definitely guys, the incorrect statement was option 2. The statement 2, that is Victor Ambrose and Gary Ruvkun, they have not won the prize in the literature. It was Hank Kang who has won the prize in the literature, and that's why this statement was incorrect, right? So that is the reason this statement was incorrect. Right answer was option C. And the star performers of our last session was Abhay Kumar, The Dreams Hashira, Kritya, Shalini Sharma, Subhash Sri Lanka, and Happy. So all these people are the star performers. Well done guys, and that really shows basically, and that will also improve your confidence level as well, that yes, you have given the answer correctly for the homework question. और इसी तरीके से हम आइडेंटिफाई करना है कि क्या हमारी मेजर इंपॉर्टेंट डायमेंशंस है जो हमें कवर करनी है किसी भी न्यूज आर्टिकल से विच इज बीन देयर, एंड डेफिनेटली दिस इज something that you can definitely learn and acquire by solving the questions from our sessions that we are taking on our YouTube channel, right? So make sure that आप आने वाले sessions में भी आप इस session का part बने. Definitely you are going to learn lot of news articles. And let me tell you guys that in the previous part, I have seen so many comments here that people were asking for the session of the 9th to 17th of October. Let me tell you that I will be covering the old news as well in the upcoming sessions. Do not worry about it. आपके सारे न्यूज इंपॉर्टेंट आर्टिकल्स को हम कवर करेंगे अपने आगे आने वाले सेशंस के अंदर भी, ठीक है? सो आई होप गाइज दैट टुडे सेशन वाज रियली फ्रूटफुल एंड यूजफुल टू ऑल ऑफ यू. और अगर आप सभी को सेशन अच्छा लगा, यू कैन डेफिनेटली मेंशन योर व्यू इन द कमेंट सेक्शन. और आपको कोई भी क्वेरी है तो आप डेफिनेटली उसे कमेंट सेक्शन के अंदर मेंशन कर सकते हैं. एंड यू कैन ऑल्सो शेयर योर क्वेरीज एट hello@edutap.co.in, and in case of any mentorship call that you really require from us, so you can call us at 8146207241. So guys, I believe that today's session was really fruitful and useful to all of you. You can also tell me about that in the comment section. I will be meeting you in the next session. Till then, stay happy, stay healthy.